Okay, so you said there's a frog that lives on your porch.
Yeah, he's a tree frog, and I named him Timmy. And he sits, I literally open my door and he just chills right there. And it's life. I love him.
He just sits in front of your house.
It
Like
is.
I imagine that he's sitting and looking out, and he's like your watchdog. You don't know, but he's just watching and waiting.
Well, like my husband gets really mad because I leave the porch light on because it brings more bugs so I can feed
Oh,
Timmy and make
yeah.
sure he eats. But then, you gotta let the dog out and you keep the light on all night. The bugs are gonna be everywhere. So it's a thing.
Mm.
But Timmy needs to eat, so the light needs to stay on.
Yeah, it's like Golden Corral. Probably just about
Like,
as appetizing.
mhm, probably.
uh, uh,
It's great. He lives in my gutter during the day. Like I know where this frog chills all day, but
just
it's awesome.
he's a fucking tree frog, and he sits in your gutter.
Yeah, like he goes because it's wet, so he'll sit up
Oh,
in the gutter
I mean,
well
I
during the
guess.
day.
Fucking asshole. He's supposed to be in a tree.
No,
Fucking
he's
gutter frogs.
fine. Don't call Timmy an asshole. Who the fuck are you to judge where he lives?
He's a gutter frog. He's not a tree frog. It's bullshit.
Mm,
False advertising.
no, he's great.
Oh my god. Okay, well, yeah, alright. So, this is gonna be kind of an off the cuff sort of episode where Allie has been bugging me nonstop to talk about this fucking movie that I didn't want to watch
Such
because
trash. It's great.
it's yeah, that's the only way I can describe this movie because that's literally what it is just like dumb trash. It's what happens. I saw a YouTube video and it was titled "When a Director Becomes Too Powerful," and it's literally just a thumbnail that had the title of this on it. So
Anyone guess what we're about to talk about?
Army of the Dead.
Zombies.
Yeah, another look. I love Call of Duty Zombies as much as the next guy, but they're the most boring fucking monster. Well, okay, spoilers for this movie. It's just
Oh,
gonna be a
absolutely.
total spoilers start to finish. You don't want to see this, totally fine. Just dip out. But so they're not typical zombies in the strictest sense. They're not.
Mm.
So it starts off with the premise is kind of cool, and I wish they played more with it. So there's a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas, and they quarantine off just the city. They don't let any normal people out of the city for fear that they might be infected with the virus or whatever it is. Um, and like that concept alone sounds awesome. Like I don't know if you've ever played the oh my god, I feel like an idiot. Xbox games,
Left 4 Dead.
not Left for Dead, but you're very close.
Left 4 Dead is great though.
Rising, is it?
Island of the Dead, isn't that one?
No, Dead Rising, I think maybe.
Mm.
I think is Dead Rising.
I like Left 4 Dead.
Yes, it's Dead Rising.
Dead Rising.
The
Okay.
cheesiest like fucking like you're a dude and you're in a mall in most of the games, and you're just beating the fuck out of zombies with every possible random thing you can find. Like find a foam finger, beat a zombie with it. Find a lawnmower, beat a zombie with it. So I imagine it like my thought process was it was going to be that, but in a movie. Um, but they don't really do that. They instead decide to rip off the entirety of the Aliens movie. The plot is exactly the same.
But it's great because I don't always do well with scary movies. Like I really have to like be prepared. And even then, I like scary movies, but I don't like scary movies. So this wasn't scary, so it was great because the alien terrified the shit out of me as a kid, and I haven't watched it
The
since.
xenomorph is still scary to
It's
this day.
terrifying.
It
That whole thing is terrifying.
H.R. Giger knew what the fuck he was doing. Like that dude. Ugh.
That
Anyway,
movie and Independence Day, those two aliens, I didn't sleep for like years because of them because I saw them way too early because I have an older brother and he's awful and he made me watch them.
I see. I'm the oldest. So I don't really have anything like that. Um, to worry about. Uh, I pretty much did my own thing. When it comes to like finding the first horror um that I ever watched was accidentally coming across Nightmare on Elm Street during
That's a good
Halloween
one.
time when it was playing, and that of course had me fucking terrified for years and not wanting to sleep. So I'm not a big horror movie guy, but honestly, I would not consider this a horror movie.
No, not at
Straight
all.
up, it just doesn't.
It's
Like
just fun.
yeah, sure. So
You're like, no, Allie, you're trash.
no,
Stop
no, no.
talking.
I just think this movie's really goofy and not in the good way. So okay, so the movie opens with
The new bride giving her newly wed husband a blowjob, which I think is just fantastic.
hey, I
Pretty much,
mean
right? Well, the military. It starts with the or
that,
no, it
that
starts with the bride and groom.
no,
It
yeah,
does,
it's
doesn't it?
yes, it starts with Roadhead, which is a very interesting place to start your zombie movie, but at the same time,
You
like
just knew as soon as you saw that, you're like, all right, I
I
know where this is going.
yeah, I mean, if your movie less than 10 minutes in has a BJ, then I guess you're starting off well. Um, but apparently this chick gives the greatest head of all time because he crashes his fucking car into a military convoy. um, and so this is where my first issue with the movie kicks in. Like, and it wasn't the goofy opening with the BJ or anything like that. It was so the crash happens. Soldiers are looking around like, well, what do we do? Nobody thinks to
Run.
close the door
Not even, just run. Like there's a
or
scary,
run
creepy cage and the door opens. You run. Where are your
or
survival instincts?
just stand there and watch the door.
Well, they get closer, and none of them have their like guns raised like I feel like a proper
Yeah.
soldier would. Like they would
Oh
all be
God.
ready, trigger
Yeah.
on the finger
Mm-hmm.
or finger on the trigger.
Yeah. They would secure the area first off. They would, and also there. I feel like there would be more soldiers. Like I get they were probably trying to be like sneaky, but it's a fucking zombie. And on top of that, the zombie is coming from Area 51.
Which it should be alien because he's like, "Are you gonna make me say it? Don't make me say it. Say it." And then no, it's
Yeah,
zombies. They should
it's
have done an alien fix somehow,
yes.
but it doesn't work.
If you just replace the shit with like aliens or xenomorphs or something that are like replacing, like, I don't know. I feel like anyway. My point is that goofy thing happened. So that happens. One zombie sneaks up on and overpowers every fucking soldier in the area, kills all of them, or turns them to zombies, whatever. And then the government quarantines the city. So,
Which I think is cool. So like, because
the
we don't really get that often of
yeah.
like, I mean, we get it in 28 weeks later where they
Mhm.
have a safe zone.
Is that the one with vampires? Are they like
No,
vampire?
that's 30 Days of Night. 28
Oh,
Days Later
fuck.
is the Europe band, which is probably my favorite zombie. It's like the really fast rage ones where like the opening scene is those stupid eco terrorists or PETA people break into that lab and release the very angry gorilla, and then they're all like really angry, which is
um,
really, why would you do that?
yeah,
I don't,
because didn't you
they
know
wanted
this crazy virus-ridden gorillas need to be free?
to.
They must be saved. Along with all of those digital Pokemans. They must be saved. You're harboring animal abusers if you fucking play Pokemon. Man, don't even get me started on PETA. I like the
Really
idea.
don't,
I like
because
the
I
idea,
love,
but
well, it like, I'm very big, obviously, in the other episodes we've talked. I own a zoo. I love animals. I named a tree frog outside, but I hate PETA. And I'll
Timothy.
forever hate PETA because
Timothy
I have to
Peterson.
pull it up, but the shady shit PETA has done. Don't promote PETA.
No,
Stop it.
absolutely not. If you give a shit about animals, like that's awesome. Like, dude,
Don't.
promote like taking care, like getting rid of animal abusers and like fair treatment of animals and even like livestock and stuff. Like, that is a fantastic thing to get behind. But
Not through PETA.
no, not fuck PETA, dude. Like I said,
Fuck
the
PETA.
Pokemon thing. They created a fucking Pokemon game where it's like you're like fucking murdering animals, and they're like, this is you, this is what you do, and it's like, no, I like to see the electric Pokemon give this shock to the other Pokemon. Let's like, it's like all those dipshits that think Doom is satanic. The Doom guy is literally going through and murdering demons. You can't get any more Christian than that. He's on a crusade, man. He's doing his thing. I gotta call him out. You were pulling up a thing for PETA?
Oh, was I actually supposed to do that? I didn't actually
I
do it.
didn't.
I was
Oh,
just
no, no,
talking
no. We
about
can
it.
we can skip over that
Let's
if you
not
want.
go on a rant about PETA.
Okay, that's actually, I agree, that's
That's
a healthy
fair.
idea. Um so okay, so this because the city has been quarantined, Tanaka, I think his name was, the guy who owned the casino, hires on a bunch of mercenaries to recover a bunch of cash from the vault. Um, because as like honestly, what they should do, I'm gonna applaud the government here. They tactical nuke the fucking city. Like, I'm gonna be real. If zombies exist and they take over an entire city, nuke it. Fuck it. Nuke the thing.
Don't
Like,
even try.
no. I think it's a good call. Personally.
Agreed.
But yeah, and Batista is the main, I guess you consider him the main character. I love Batista. I really do. I adore him. He I didn't follow, quote unquote, his wrestling career. I never followed anybody's wrestling career really, except for like Stone Cold Steve Austin, because Stone Cold said, I love him. And the Undertaker, shit like Kane, like fuck, this guy's just so cool. Anyway, but in movie, I think he's great. I think he was great in Guardians of the Galaxy, stuff like that. So, and he was pretty good in this movie. I think he played his part.
He did. Which I was really hoping at the end. For a second, I was like, I really hoped the daughter Kate would sacrifice her life to save the father, so then the father would have to learn to live on knowing his daughter forgave him.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They went the basic route. And the father saved the daughter.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But that would have been cool.
Yeah, I get it, because as a dad, I would absolutely sacrifice myself instantly for my kids, But at the same time, like I think that would have been a useful amount of subversion at the end, because you're right, it is a very basic ass like oh,
And it would work,
just
you know.
go sacrifices, and then yeah.
I don't know why I like this movie so much, to be honest. It's probably the same thing as the Fast and Furious. There's a few
It's
movies that I
schlock.
know are trash,
It's
but I'm just
fucking
like, I love
schlock.
you.
That's the
It
only
is.
way I can describe it.
And I liked it.
Yeah, so okay, so that happens. They put together a crack team of mercenaries to go steal this shit. Well, not steal, get it back, but from underneath the government's nose, because obviously they don't want anybody going in there. What happens next? Like, just kind of shit. They sneak
Yeah,
in.
shit. Well, like, my favorite part when I first saw it, the character named Coyote, I was like, oh, it's Christine Stewart. And I got really excited because I actually like her, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, that isn't Christine Stewart. That's a knockoff. So every single time she was on the screen, I was literally knockoff Christine Stewart. Like, I couldn't move
Wait,
past
Ella
it.
Purnell? Is that
Yeah.
who you're talking? Ella Purnell is a knockoff Kristen Stewart?
I felt like when they were like zooming in on her and she was like in the distance, I was like, oh, it's Christine Stewart because of the hair and the body type and how she was hunched. And that was just the first thing I thought of. And then it wasn't her. It
Oh,
was
okay. Yeah.
really awkward.
I can kind of see it. With the right makeup, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh. How she was like leaned over the fire pit because I think that's like the first real scene you and off in the distance. Yeah, she looks like Christine Stewart.
Oh, was she in with Tom Holland? Or not Tom.
No.
Who's what's Spider-Man? The newest Spider-Man. He was in like all the Marvel movies, like in the main canon. Far From Home and stuff.
I know who you're talking about. I'm looking her up because I don't remember and I should.
Was
No,
she
not Christine Dust. The other
was she
one.
in those movies too?
No. No, she's not.
Are you sure about that?
99.9% positive she was. Because I would have been like, oh.
She was in Miss Peregrine's Home. Yeah, okay, never mind. I see. Fucking Army of the Dead.
She was fun.
Yeah. It's Kick-Ass 2.
Basic,
okay.
yeah.
That's where I remember seeing her in.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, some people are probably going to completely disagree with this, which I would understand, but I never felt like this movie was too long, even though it was over 2 hours. Like, I felt like it was actually really well paced, and I felt like
Yeah.
for the very slim archetypes we got, like, he actually fleshed everyone out. Like,
Okay.
I actually felt everyone kind of had scenes
When
a little
you're
bit.
directly lifting dialogue and scenes from one of the best paced and well put together movies of all time, Aliens, that'll happen. When you copy your fucking test, when you copy the test of the fucking grade A student, you're gonna get a good. I mean, you might not get an A plus, but you're gonna get pretty far up there.
Mhm.
Oh my god. Okay, There's this. Okay. There's a scene that's very clear. Other than like bits and pieces of dialogue, like I understand, like being referential is good, but there's a scene where a character betrays another character, and they do it in the exact same way that the Aliens movie did it, where they lock a door. They lock the people that they're supposed to be leading, and then they run away and are taken out by a monster. So in the original Aliens, you don't watch the death scene. In this movie, they draw out his death scene by like 5 minutes. Like, you sit and watch this guy get murdered by this fucking zombie tiger, and it takes just so long. Like, I got up, and because I was like, I know what's going to happen, so I'm just going to, because it was playing itself out. in Aliens, he turns and he sees the alien and opens his mouth, and then a little tiny mouth shoots out, and you're like, okay, I get it. I know what happens. He gets murdered by the xenomorph. In this movie, they patted out the. I walked away to get a drink and came back, and he was still dying to this fucking tiger. Dude, like.
Well, I feel like Zack Snyder, again, love-hate relationship, but I do got to admit, this man is creative, and that's why I like him doing his own thing, and that's probably why I like this movie more, because it's not him being weird and being like, I'm gonna have Batman kill people and have Dick Grayson die to the Joker. You know what I'm saying? Like, and messing that stuff up. But he's like, in this aspect, he's just like, I'm gonna have a fucking zombie tiger and a hooker dressed queen and a colorful glowing zombie baby.
Yeah.
Like, I'm down. Like, I was like, okay, I'm here for the ride.
So again, we already prefaced this episode with spoilers, so I'm not that worried.
Oh yeah.
It turns out there's like a sect of the zombies that are just like intelligent.
I'm gonna say like the alpha. I'm gonna call him the alpha. He's the original OG zombie.
Yeah.
If he bites you, you become another alpha. If he doesn't bite you, and you're like a product of the other zombies, then you're just a pathetic, lame old zombie.
Right. Yeah. So like,
I don't know. It was great.
they'll allow safe passage, like in exchange for a sacrifice.
Yeah.
What zombie has ever, like, they're just cannibals at that point. They're not, you don't really need to use zombie. But it works. It works. I can't. It does. It's fine.
I knew turning on this movie, I was like, I'm going to shut off my brain and not think about anything. Because if I took this plot and put it in front of me with a pencil, there wouldn't be any paper left because of all the plot holes. So I was just like, brain shut off, enjoy. Mm-hmm. And I did, without using my brain. I won't think about it in depth or I'll ruin the movie.
Oh, yeah, so the premise about them sneaking in to take the money, gets expedited by the fact that the government was going to rush the nuke. So instead of detonating it later, they decided to do it. Fuck it right now. Which I'm gonna be honest. Like, I understand they're probably trying to let like innocent people out of there, but I mean, if you were to look at the government and say, why did you nuke my family? And they come back with, they might have been zombies. I would be content with that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that probably sounds cold and awful as hell, but I mean, zombies. But yeah, so all that shit happens. The queen zombie. Let's talk about her for a minute.
I think because I didn't want to spoil it before because you hadn't watched it at that point. But I just really liked the costume. Like, I thought the costume was cool. We don't usually, I mean, zombies are normally just put in rag clothes. Yeah. But this one was actually like, I don't know. I just liked it. It went with the aesthetic.
Like, it's like primal. I don't know. It's cool. And it's interesting because, again, they're like intelligent zombies. So they're different. So it's unfortunately, there's really not much left to this.
Oh no.
Because,
like, I'll admit, like, there's not much, but I thought it was fun.
Yeah. Well, in terms of plot line, like, the rest of the characters start just like dying off. Lots of sacrificing, lots of the alpha is a badass, so it just starts killing people.
I like that we see he put on a helmet to protect his head. I don't think we've ever seen that before, even out of intelligent zombies, which I feel like, happened.
Oh yeah, he puts on armor and shit. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was clever.
Yeah. The ending, other than taking the phenomenal ending from Aliens, which they actually kind of did, you're right, it kind of cliched ends.
I like the bit at the end when we have the guy that survived, which totally wouldn't, again, that's why I don't think about it, because, I mean, they drop a nuke, it doesn't matter if you're underground. If you walk up into that, you're dead in a heartbeat. because you're in the center of a nuke.
You will die very quickly. The radiation,
Yeah.
the fallout will, yeah.
You'd be dead.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I thought that was fun because he's like, obviously he feels like shit because he got a bomb dropped on him and got his ass kicked by some zombies. So he's not like realizing until like it's too late, and then he's like, "Oh fuck."
That seemed so cheesy though. He gets
I thought it was
far.
funny.
He gets that fucking far and is like, oh.
Well, besides 28 days later, I feel like no one ever follows their like timing. You know what I'm saying? Like 28 days and 28 weeks later, it's like 10 seconds. And they follow that to a T with every like infection.
Yeah. Well, because
but every other movie they don't.
Well, yeah, because
So.
like that's the thing, right? Is you gotta have rules. You gotta have rules for your story. Otherwise, shit like either doesn't make sense or creates like this dissonance for your audience where shit just it's like, oh, cool, you did that for the plot, very nice. Well, oh man, I had a suggestion for. I had an example, but it of course slipped my mind because I'm a fucking idiot. But in any case, yeah. Wow.
Trash movie. 10 out of 10. We'll watch again.
Look, it's a movie I'd throw on if like I wanted something going on in the background of my Halloween party and like people were eating chips and just partying and like just not like consuming it, but like it being there is fine. If you just want to sit down and have like a zombie movie that wants to be this just fucking murder fest, bloody gory thing, put it on. Like it's not an awful movie. I would say watch it if you want to turn your brain off and just like have something going.
Yes. Me and Fast and Furious, and now probably this movie. Those are the ones I can. Don't me about Fast and Furious. I lived off the first one for like a long time. That's all I would watch. That and the Bourne movies. Those were like my movies I'd turn on.
You cut out. What was that?
That and the Bourne movies.
The Bourne? Oh, Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne. That line delivery. Fast. What movie
I love that. Is you should get some rest, Pam. You're looking tired.
Oh my God.
I watched that movie so much I could probably quote word.
Holy shit.
I need help.
Wait, this movie isn't out yet? Is Fast 9 out?
No.
So it's not out yet, right?
No. But I'm gonna be in the theaters for it.
Apparently it already has a 69% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 5.5 on IMDb.
That's okay. They're all rated pretty poorly. I'm fine with it.
It's 2.5 hours.
I'm here for it, man.
Holy fuck.
I'm a fan until it's dead.
What are they gonna do?
I don't know. They're totally. People joke about it. They're like, "Oh, what's the next one? They're gonna go to the moon." And the director's literally been like, "I'd take him to the moon," and I'm like, "I would watch you take him to the moon." Like, it's so stupid, but I love them now.
So. Fuck. Oh my God. So John Cena is in this movie.
Yes, he is.
Have you heard of the recent controversy around him?
I have indeed.
I don't know what happened.
So he was in Taiwan.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, "Hey, Taiwan, you're a beautiful country. You're great." And then China's like, being China, and they think they own Taiwan. So he pissed off China. And that's just not acceptable for Hollywood because China gives them money. So they made him apologize because we pander to China, which is a whole other rant for another day. Because their pandering to China has ruined some of my movies.
You mean the last fucking 5 Disney movies?
Yeah.
Dude, okay.
Could we just go back to 2D hand-drawn fucking animation, please? And original plot lines?
Oh, what do you mean? Raya and the Last Dragon was original.
Yeah, but they cared more about political points than they did about character development and story. And I'm sad.
I'm still crying internally about Mulan, like genuinely.
Oh my god. Don't get me started on Mulan.
So, I do want to say that what Cena said, as an apology, I respect him for it. Right. Now, let me read exactly what he said. I made one mistake, I must say right now. Very important. I love and respect Chinese people. I am very sorry for my mistake. I'm sorry. I apologize. So,
Which is but like
no,
he
let me
shouldn't be
say
apologizing.
you're correct. You're correct. He should not be apologizing because he shouldn't have to appease a whiny country to make money. Well, the government, not the country. The government, the way it's ran.
Yes.
And like I said, like as an American, I'm not like America's the best country ever. That's not true. We have a lot of flaws.
No, we suck.
Well, yeah, yes. I love it here, and I wouldn't want to live many other places. But what he says and the way he says it is he doesn't go back on it. He you know what I mean? He doesn't walk back and say that Taiwan is not a country. He says
he just apologizing for offending.
He apologizes for saying something and doesn't even specify. He just says, I'm sorry for my mistake. So the way that comes out to me is like he understands that it's bullshit and he doesn't want to entirely like bow down to China, but also he has millions of dollars to make off of the deal. So of course he would apologize, especially considering you're right. He works for Hollywood at this point. So like I don't know, man. I just it's a dumbass thing to have to apologize about. And after everything went down with Hong Kong, man, this is gonna get real heavy real quick. So I'm not really gonna go there. But otherwise, I fucking love John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
he's fun.
He is fun. When the movie The Marine that he was in, I thought that was
I've seen that movie.
Fucking awesome. It was really cool. It probably isn't a very good movie. Yeah, it got a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. Really?
Oof.
Yeah, that is a big oof. I thought it was better than that. Anyway, this thing.
Conjuring it. I'm actually. Mm-hmm. Sorry, continue.
No, you're good.
I mumbled out loud.
No, you're good. But I highly recommend checking out this movie. I liked it. So, John Cena plays a Marine. He disregards direct orders and attacks the extremists that are holding hostages. And he gets honorably discharged for disobeying direct orders, which, you know, like that it's fine. But now that he's retired, he tries to live normally. He tries to get a job as a bodyguard, but he gets fired from that because he uses like super excessive force on an employee's ex-boyfriend. So while this is happening, his wife decides that they need a vacation. So they go and while that's happening, a robbery occurs. They steal a bunch of jewels from a jewelry store. Whatever. Steals the stuff, drives away. And they sort of, so it almost does the John Wick thing where like John Wick, have you seen that movie?
I have.
So he meets up with them at the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
It does basically the same thing, because cops show up to buy gas. One of the jewelry store robbers panics and just starts like shooting at the cops. They kill the gas station attendant, and his wife gets kidnapped. So it's basically, I would consider it a remake of that one Arnold movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger. What is that movie? It's like one of his classics, and I feel like an idiot for not knowing what it's called. It's one of his older ones. Is it True Lies? I'm not sure. But yeah, so it's basically like John Wick meets True Lies before John Wick happened.
Okay.
Where his wife gets captured and he just fucking murders these people. He straight up hunts them down and fucking slaughters these people. And it's just like a feel good, to me anyway. It's one of those like shitty movies that you just watch because it's just like cool. John Wick is in that vein, apart from the fact that it's not a shitty movie. It's an amazing movie. It has a similar premise.
The whole trilogy.
Oh my God.
I'm sick and tired. Like, make a perfect trilogy and please stop. Because all these movies keep making more, and then I can't be like, my perfect trilogies. Because everyone's fucking it up, and it's pissing me off.
It's funny you say that because John Cena's The Marine, that movie has like 5 or 6 additional
really?
movies,
Funny.
and he's not in any of them.
Like, make a perfect 3, because for so long I'd be like, Toy Story. Like, a great trilogy. Well, and they made a fucking 4th one, so I can't say that anymore. Makes me mad.
Yikes. But yeah, that movie's awesome. It's stupid. It's like I said, cheesy, but I think he was great in that movie. But then again, I'm a huge sucker for like revenge plot lines. So
Well, then I'm going to suggest this to you and our readers. Readers. Listeners.
Hey, I mean, if somebody's deaf, they could be reading the captions.
That's true. But this is very true. But anyways, movie suggestion. If you like revenge plots, watch Promising Young Woman. Please. It did not get enough attention because of COVID. It got released on streaming. But it is so good. And it is gritty and it's realistic. Because while I love John Wick in those revenge plots...
Is Bo Burnham in this movie?
Yes, it is.
Are you kidding me?
It's phenomenal. And the ending, because this is one you're not expecting it. It's not necessarily what you want, but it makes sense. And it's gritty, and it's very real of their circumstances. And I love it.
It won an Oscar.
It's very pretty, and the music is pretty, and the shots are pretty, and it makes you want to, like, hurt inside. It's just a great movie. Please watch this movie. Bring it more love.
Please, God, watch. Hey, it won an Oscar. It won a shit ton of awards.
Yes, it did, because it's fucking great, and people aren't watching it. So go watch this movie. I demand you. My demanding bitchy voice. Go do it.
Oh, man, I guess you have to now.
You thank me later.
This reminds me of another series of movies. It's pretty much long story short, woman gets raped, goes back, and fucking kills everyone that had anything to do with it. Like, almost like forget anything I was just talking about. Have you ever seen The Crow?
Isn't that the dude, and then he died really tragically on set during like the second movie filming?
Yes.
That one?
Yeah.
Yes.
1994. Brandon Lee. So you have seen?
Yes, I have.
It's a superhero movie. It's literally a superhero movie.
Just really gritty.
Yeah. Well, it's because
I like the aesthetic of that movie.
Yeah, he's like because like The Crow is a comic book series.
Mm-hmm.
That came out in the 80s, I think. And it's oh my god, it's just those like mwah, chef kiss mwah. It's like you want like all like I can't really do movies that make me feel dirty, like anxious, like you know.
This will. The
Yes.
ending too. You might not be able to finish it. It's pretty upsetting.
I also don't like endings that are not happy. If that makes sense,
not.
like that probably sounds.
I mean, it is, but it's not. No, I get what you're saying,
like,
and this is not
the point of having like bad situations in movies when there isn't like a good resolution to it. For me, like the good resolution is sort of a release, like in a horror movie when like the like a slasher flick like the Friday the 13th movies or whatever, where like he is about to kill every last, and then there's one person and then they escape, like the ending of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original one. That's like it almost, he's like this close, it almost gets you with with her getting into a vehicle and then Leatherface kills the guy and then she gets in another vehicle and escapes. It's that release. And when a movie doesn't do that, it just has this like rising action, and like it might be my anxiety, but it just leaves me like hollow for many days.
I get it.
So,
I mean,
like,
this one will probably fuck you up then for sure, so be prepared. But it's good.
I mean, look, good cinematography, well-written story, good acted characters, all that stuff is phenomenal.
Realistic.
Yeah, right. Like that's good, and that's definitely, some people like it.
You're lying.
And The Crow is really hard for me to get through to start with. But once like the bad shit in the beginning is over, and he's just murdering the fuck out of these monstrous people, feels good. It really does. It's cathartic, and that's the only way I can describe it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's not The Crow is definitely not a movie that I would consider watching if I just wanted to shut my brain off. That's like a night. I would make a night of that movie, if that makes sense.
Well, same with The Promising Young Woman. You have to be in the right mindset, or I feel like it's not healthy.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. Yeah. So that kind of wraps that around back to Army of the Dead, where I would totally shut my brain off and just watch that. Are there any?
Absolutely.
Oh, dude. What are some other horror movies that I would just shut my brain off and put on?
Well, I just watched the new Conjuring.
Okay.
The devil made me do it.
So the premise, okay. All of the Conjuring movies, are they all like quote unquote based on a real story, or?
Yes.
Okay.
It's based off the two investigators, the Warrens. They're like apparent investigations back in the day.
Okay.
They're cases.
Well, this movie, the preview, I was watching YouTube at like 2:00 in the morning because I can't fucking sleep at night, and this the preview was of a guy walking down the street covered in blood. He's like, I don't know what happened, I think I killed somebody. And then the cops are like, what the fuck? And they take him in, and so it's like the idea that situation was based on a true story is spooky to me, because I love based on true story stuff. But at the same time, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I'm sorry to burst everybody's bubble, that did not happen. That was
Mm-hmm.
absolutely not based on a true story. And the same thing with like the what is it, the what is that movie, Blair Witch Project, where yeah, there everybody's like, oh, this is all the found footage is based on a real, this happened, this is actual foot, you know. um Having that magic kind of broken for me is not it so the concept of it being based on a real thing is exciting to me, but the realization of it not being even close to how actual events occurred, or it being like too far of a dramatization from real life, kills it for me. If that
Right.
makes sense.
I definitely like, because I don't know, have you seen the first Conjuring?
Maybe. I think it
Well, the
was a while
first
ago.
one still freaks me out to this day. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's, top tier scary movie, gets me every time. Still get the anxiety, still jump. This one does not do that for me. I feel like it's definitely creepy and unnerving, but it's not jumpy. Like, it doesn't have the good jump scares. It's pretty tame, I feel like, especially compared to the first one.
Okay, yeah, jump scares. Also, I'm gonna be a party pooper. Jump scares are not scary. They're cheap. They're bullshit, and
Mm-hmm.
I hate them. Continue.
Um, Definitely decent though. And I think mainly because I am fascinated by witches and witchcraft and the occult,
Mm-hmm.
to the point of apparently I had witches in my family, which my mom refuses to talk about, which really bothers me because it, again, like I have actual practicing parent witches in my bloodline and I want to know about it.
Yeah,
That's
I mean that's
fascinating.
interesting. Yeah.
That's cool. But so that was very interesting where this had like more Satan, which bothers me as well because true Satanism, from what I've learned over the years and what I've been told, is completely different than what it's normally portrayed as.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but right? Yeah, I think it's Satanism, isn't it? Because Satanism, the one is like they purposely picked that name to upset Christianity, but it's like they believe your body is the temple, like you're supposed to be God and treat yourself as such.
Um.
I
Yeah.
think. Is that
So if
Satanist or is that
okay, yeah, you're talking about the Church of Satanism, and that
which is
was
different than Satanists, right?
no.
No, it gets confusing.
Yeah, no, I understand
Because
what you
I'm
mean.
scared to go dive deep because I believe enough where I'm like, I'm gonna attract bad juju and I don't want fucking bad juju because I
No,
can't handle that
so
shit.
Satanism is, at least in modern, um okay, so there's two different kinds. There's theistic Satanism, which is people that are like, okay, Satan is a real deity, he's a god, and I believe in him. They venerate him as their deity, as like a patriarch. Where atheistic Satanists regard Satan as a symbol, sort of. Um, uh, it's just definitely define Satanism is just
It's hard.
yeah. Because we're thinking of who's the guy that
I just feel like, especially
Anton
from like,
LaVey is the
okay,
guy that founded the Church of Satan and modern, like uh he was born in 1930, but he wrote a lot of books, and frankly, like he sort of wrote a book, or wrote a bunch of books, and was like, this is my religion now, and everybody's like, okay. He's an occultist. um
mm-hmm.
so like, when you think of modern Satanism, I guess you'd probably be looking at
Yeah.
yeah, and which is funny to me, because there's a story about, on his deathbed, he begged God for mercy and hoped he didn't go to hell and stuff like that. So, I mean, like, honestly, he was just an edgy dude. He was a super
Yeah,
edgy dude, and he had a fucking black leopard named Zoltan, for Christ's sake.
that's fantastic. I
Yeah,
love it.
he just so, the Church of the Church of Satan is like, I'm probably not the most qualified person to talk about this because there's not much that I know.
Hmm.
Um, but it definitely feels like, you know, edgy atheists. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And don't get me wrong, like some of their tenets are like kind of cool, I guess. They're a good way to look at stuff, but since you were talking about that, um I want to read them off to you
Okay.
cuz they're I know we've gone so far off the subject.
Okay, we're
And
still in the movie, the talking of horror movies. It's
yeah.
fine. It's like literally the whole plot line in the movie, so it's fine.
Mhm. So, there are 7 fundamental tenets. One should strive to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason. Um, the struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institution.
Mm.
One's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone.
Yes,
Uh,
I think that's what I was trying to talk about earlier.
yeah. The freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend. To willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of others of another is to forego one's own. Belief should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world. One should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit one's belief. People are fallible. If one makes a mistake, one should do one's best to rectify it and resolve any harm that might have been caused. And every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word. So that's,
See,
if you search
I'm so
literally,
confused because you hear that and I'm like, that's phenomenal.
that
But then
was the
like that's where
satanic, that was the satanic temple. Like that's the
I feel like that's
website.
different.
It's literally the first
Yeah.
thing I clicked on. Um,
I
so,
gotta research, man, because that's fascinating. Where like, and I think that's
but
also just our media and how we portray it.
sure. But I think the thing that we have to keep in mind with that is it's very easy to put forth a series of tenets like those when you have the 10 commandments to look at and just say, okay,
Right.
well, this is 1970s, 1980s America. Um, let's write stuff that makes us seem morally in the right, regardless of, like, you can't objectively look at that and say I don't that's wrong. You know what I mean? That stuff, it's kind of like vague and just like positive, if that makes sense.
Right.
Um so I,
But like compared to those tenets, how it's described in this movie, it's like completely different. So that's where like I want to understand what's more realistic and what do they actually follow compared to what Hollywood and society believes,
yeah, well, I mean, you still have
which could be a
people.
cool series to explore.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love
But
to
again,
delve
bad
down.
juju.
It's not bad juju. Be okay. Just
Fine, fine.
burn some fucking
Some sage.
some sage in your house to cleanse the dark spirits. It'll be fine.
Hmm.
So, um, uh, what? So what is The Conjuring about? Like, The
So it's a
Conjuring. Oh, go ahead.
uh it's a case because they were doing this, you know, exorcism and it was originally a curse and they don't find that out till later. but it's an exorcism, and this little boy is possessed, which they totally had the body horror down, which I feel like horror movies don't do properly anymore because I don't consider ripping someone's throat out as like true body horror. You know what I'm saying?
Body horror should be making you uncomfortable.
And this did because it did the whole like bone breaking and like mutilation of the body, as in like creepy, disgusting positions of like unnatural, like it literally was unnatural bone breaking to twist him around. Because like the little boy is being held down on a table by his four limbs, and he like literally twists and contorts his body, and you hear the bone cracks, and everyone's screaming, and the kids like screaming and drooling, and I'm like, this is making me very uncomfortable. I'm not enjoying any of this, and that's like the first real scene. So that was cool because you don't get that much anymore.
Right.
Because there's like no blood, no horror in that aspect. It's just literally like, let's just make him into a human pretzel and then twist him further and then a little bit further and we're good.
Ugh.
But
Also, let me just say this because I just went on that little tangent about Satanism. There are like there's the Church of Satan, there's the Temple of Satan. There's so many there's the rules that Anton LaVey put down in his book. So don't take
I think there's different, there's very much different tiers.
I was going to say don't take anything of what I said as fact.
No.
I
do your own research.
Yeah, I literally Google searched it and clicked on the first thing. So, like, yeah, if you're into that stuff, more power to you, but do your research. That's all. I just have
like
a
I
rule.
Said, it fascinates me. I just don't want to bring something into my house.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I have a rule where I don't fuck with things I shouldn't.
Yes.
Like, for instance, I know that the Ouija board was made in, like, the 30s or something as, like, a board game by the same people that made Monopoly. Yes. But I also wouldn't set one on fire.
No, if my kid brings in a Ouija board, if I ever have kids, if my possible children bring in a Ouija board, I'm kicking the fuck out with the Ouija board. I'm like, don't you dare bring that shit into my house. Because I ain't doing that. No. This is like my safe place. And that's not something you can like call the cops on or shoot to make it go away. So I want nothing to do with it.
Well, so okay, yeah, it's Hasbro owns Ouija, the trade Ouija, I believe that's how you say it, Ouija. That specific word is a trademark of Hasbro's, but it generically refers to any talking board. Talking boards have been used apparently
for a very long time,
since like the 1100s or something. But this one specifically, this toy was sold in 1991. So, but at the same time, like I said, I wouldn't fuck with one. I wouldn't, like, you're supposed to burn them. You don't throw them away. Shit like that. Like, again, I
don't put the little triangle. Make sure you say goodbye, and don't let the triangle fall off the board before you say goodbye. I remember that one.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Right. But yeah, so that's just, so what movie were we talking about again?
The Conjuring.
The Conjuring, right. We're just fucking skating around. Yeah, so The Conjuring. So
so pretty much first boy was possessed, and there's this other, like, he's an older teen. I would say they're like 18, or no, they're probably at least like 19, 20. It's I think they're family friends, and or it's like the family. I'm not 100%. I didn't pay that close attention because when I get nervous, I watch my phone. So there was a couple points I was like, I need to watch my phone, so I missed some things. But he, like, because this kid is like, he breaks free. He's like trying to kill Ed, who's the husband of the woman who has like the senses
Okay.
or whatever. So like this like young adult grabs the child and like talking to the demon like take me, I give you, take me instead, let the boy go. So it does. It transfers to him and then that's when he kills the person and it's the whole rest of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought it'd be more like case oriented, like following his case and like the fact that in real life this was the first demonic possession as a defense in the United States. So that would be very interesting. They didn't do that. It was just following the Warrens around as they tried to figure out why he was possessed, which
Right.
was fine.
Well, yeah.
Wasn't as good, but it's fine.
Yeah. Excuse me. Oh, so we're that was a real cough, I swear. Uh were any of those movies were so you said they're sort of based on real life. Were they ever
Mm-hmm.
what is there footage? Is this just like spoken
So
hearsay, written like
this one
documented stuff?
had a recording of the voiceover of the like the exorcism,
Mm.
which take it as you want because it's a recording you can't see, but like so you don't fully know. But I mean, the voice that you hear in the background as they're like going through the whole ordeal is pretty like scary and demonic, and definitely not a child's voice. So if it's supposed to be like this kid was like 8 years old, so there's that.
Mm.
Um, Annabelle is a like actual haunted doll that's still in the museum
Yeah.
now. Like she's a full thing.
I've seen the doll, and it's literally like a little Raggedy Ann doll.
Yes.
And I wish they went with the Raggedy Ann doll. I know they couldn't because
Yes.
of copyright, but that Raggedy
Yes.
Ann doll is way creepier than the
Yes.
fucking the one that they use in the movie.
So there's that aspect as well. But yeah, there's no like video recording. There's audio, but that was it that
Hmm.
they showed. And they showed some pictures of like the case. Now that I think about it, of like, because the girlfriend that was like through all this, which, I mean, see what you mean. I mean, everyone's different. We've seen men and women stay in relationships that they shouldn't because of abuse and just because they refuse to back away. But the fact that this like woman apparently watched a murder and like went through all of this, but then still stayed with him and like believed in his innocence. Because they like get married in real life. They're like still married to each other to this day. Like they're
Oh,
still alive.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I feel like that might give some credit, but then again, not really because you see like women be fanboys of like serial killers. So I don't know. But I felt like that was a little interesting,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Well, the fact that there is somebody living that you can go talk to is a
Yeah, they're
vastly
both
different
still,
situation than
yeah,
they
they're
all
both still
died.
very much alive.
Right. Um.
So,
So yeah, and that brings me to so we were talking about like real life found footage stuff and blah blah blah. So that makes me think of a movie that to drive my point home. I adored this movie. Right? You ever heard of The Fourth Kind?
oh God, I have. I don't know if I've watched it.
It is a movie about so apparently there's a bunch of in real life there are people okay that I'm just gonna go out and say it. The movie is almost a complete fabrication,
Hmm.
but it touts itself as being like the most fucking we have real footage of this is real, and they created like 3 fake websites to make
About
their
it.
shit seem realistic.
Believable. Yeah.
And before I knew all that, like being just yeah, this came out in 2009. How old was I? 14. I was 14, a young and stupid kid. When this movie came out, I watched it and like it scared the piss out of me because it has some pretty decently believable footage that is like allegedly from. Okay, so the whole thing is that there's a paranormal researcher that is studying disappearances in Alaska, in Nome, Alaska. And there's like an FBI case, and it's real weird. And long story short, people are being abducted by aliens, allegedly. They all see a white owl outside their window, and then at 3:33, it's just following this person. So they have an actress that plays the researcher, and they also have another actress that plays the real quote-unquote researcher. So they lied about it. So like when I'm watching this, I'm like, holy shit, like they have footage from a real person. They have like the recordings, they have this, they have like, you know, it all seemed super real, and it's a thing that like bothers me in real life, thinking about it anyway. Abduction. I'm not saying that I'm actually genuinely worried that aliens are gonna come in and steal me. I'm just saying, like, if it happened, it would be fucking terrifying, right?
Oh yeah.
So it was awesome. I was like, oh dude, this is the coolest fucking movie. It's creepy, it's got real stuff. And you take like the smallest glance at this movie, and it Mila Jovovich is the main character. Like, take a surface level look at this movie, and it really, there's nothing that is real. So to drive my point home, that's kind of what I'm talking about, how like this movie got me. It played me like a fucking fiddle. The footage that seemed real, the idea that seemed pretty well thought out, and the spooky vague stuff. And then I looked it up as an adult and was like, wow, this is the fakest piece of shit. Like, it might as well just be Blair Witch again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the amount of people that die or disappeared. Jesus Christ. That disappear in Alaska, Nome specifically, is typical of small towns like Nome.
Like I think people don't realize how much you get up and walk away. Because people do that.
Yeah.
But also, it's Alaska, and I have family in Alaska. And like, for example, my one cousin, she's awesome. I love her to death. She's a badass bitch. She literally just decided one day, without telling anyone else, that she was gonna jump on her four-wheeler and go hunt a moose. And she disappeared for several days, killed a moose, and then realized mooses are big, and she couldn't bring it back home. And she's in the middle of the wilderness in Alaska and doesn't have a gun big enough to kill a grizzly. And she's in the middle of Alaska. And I just know that her father was very, very angry and bought her a very big, obnoxiously expensive gun. So when she was stupid enough to go out again without telling anyone that she's going out to the middle of Alaska, that she at least has a gun to kill a grizzly, because I don't think people realize how big those bears are and how terrifying they are.
Oh,
and
God.
You literally need a
Dude,
killing gun. It's literally an elephant
aliens.
gun.
I'm more scared of bears. Them fuckers are real.
What was I watching? Oh, when I was up north with my parents, they've been watching this show on Paramount called Yellowstone.
Oh.
And it's actually very, very good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
there's
it.
Supposed to be a new season coming out soon, I think.
Yes, and I need to finish watching it so I can watch the new season. I'm really enjoying it. But I like, as an animal person, I was livid because they keep having these scenes with this grizzly bear, and they're like standing tall and yelling at the grizzly bear.
Yeah.
The grizzly bear is getting scared, and
Yeah, okay.
that's not what you do.
Let me say that if I remember correctly, that is what you do with a grizzly bear.
No.
You're supposed to scare that one off. The black bear, you're supposed to play dead.
No. You have it mixed. Grizzly bear, you pray dead and pray to God or whatever you believe in that it doesn't kill you. Black bears, you get really big and
Well,
angry
because
and
black
hope it
bears
runs
are
away.
smaller and more aggressive.
Mm-mm. Nope. You can scare black bears easier. They're more timid, believe it or not. It's the grizzlies that you literally just lay limp and just hope.
Are you sure? Because I'm looking at
Mm-hmm.
something right here. It's like an
I'll
old
fight you on
timey.
it. You're supposed to play dead
It's an
for
old
grizzly
timey
bears.
survival thing. Always carry bear spray. If you suspect bears in the area, sing, make noise, talk to yourself. Never leave food on a trail. If you encounter one, walk away slowly. Don't run. Be prepared to spray the bear. Be non-threatening as possible. Make yourself smaller. Okay, yeah. Don't run. Lay on the ground and play dead for grizzlies if you're charged. Yeah, that's how it is.
This
Yep.
one says for mother grizzly, you play dead if she's protecting her cubs.
Yep.
Which is normally why you get attacked by grizzlies.
No, you're right. You're right. Because right here it says, black bear, don't run, stand your ground and make yourself as big as possible. Shout, wave your arms, never climb a tree. If charged, fight back. Aim for the nose or other sensitive area.
I never understand why people are like, because that's in the show too. He climbs a tree and the grizzly just kind of like looks at him and tries to swat at him. I'm like, dude, that grizzly would be up there knocking that down in 2 seconds.
Bears
You don't climb a tree.
Bears knock over trees regularly.
That's what they do. They climb trees because they go for the honey.
They climb trees, yeah.
And they climb trees. It just drove me crazy. So I kept watching that and it kind of took me out of the show for a bit because I'm like, this isn't accurate. And at one point they like use a lasso to like hook the bear to like pull the bear away with the horse. Well, first of all, that horse would buck you in a fucking instant and book it. It doesn't matter if you have spears or, you know, the reins or anything. You're on the ground and that horse is booking it. Or you're holding on for dear life and that horse is booking it. Mm-hmm. But then like the bear lets itself get pulled away. And I'm like, grizzlies are bigger than that. And one swipe and you're dead. So it really bugged me because I'm like, this is not how you portray grizzly bears. Like, I would be cool seeing a black bear in real life. I was really bummed when I was on my honeymoon that we apparently had one because we rented a cabin by the Smokies, and there's like a little notepad for like people to write down what they saw and what they did as like suggestions for the next people that came in. And everyone was talking about how like there's this little black bear that they saw and we never saw it, and I was really bummed. But a grizzly bear? I don't want to see a grizzly bear unless it's stuffed. Like, I'm good. I don't even want... I mean, I could see it in the zoo because that's fine, but like in nature? Fuck no. I'd be terrified.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, fuck bears. I mean, honestly, fuck bears. Seriously, they're so genuinely terrifying, yeah.
They're mean. Even panda bears. I don't... Because you see the cute dopey shit in China, but like panda bears can be just as fucking evil.
Hate me if you want, but panda bears should go extinct. I'm serious. These dumb motherfuckers, these stupid really fucking dumb. Idiot animals can't even fuck. You've got to be kidding me. The one thing that multicellular creatures are designed to fucking do.
And they can't
even do it. And they eat bamboo, the worst fucking thing to possibly eat. Oh, it's so dumb. Like, it's not, okay. It's our fault that their where they live has been destroyed, and like I recognize that, and that's totally fair. But these fucking animals, these stupid fucking animals, oh my god. More than half of newborn pandas die from disease or from being crushed by their mothers. Are you kidding me?
Evolution, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, how bad have it evolved?
While we dropped the ball.
How poorly have you evolved if you accidentally kill your fucking children constantly? Yeah. Dude. Oh my god, these animals are so dumb. They're so stupid. Oh, I just
Oh man.
oh, man, I'm not going to talk about these dumbass animals anymore. Oh,
Well, Yellowstone is another suggestion, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah.
That's another good show. The characters are great. The writing's phenomenal.
I don't know anything about it.
Oh, it's so
Is
good.
it a drama? Is it a
Yeah. So
okay.
it's like Game of Thrones,
Oh my
but
god.
literally it's a ranch in Montana. But it has that political maneuvering and complex characters as the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones. Just not, I mean, there's definitely going to be death and there's murder and there's some pretty graphic scenes, I think, in later seasons because I spoil stuff for myself because I don't care. Um,
Well, I mean, there's that, and like you're rolling through YouTube, and like you search the show once on Google, so YouTube's like character death scene episode
yep.
7. You're like, oh, but also what's going on here?
But what it is this ranch in Montana, and he has like it's like ridiculous amount of land. Like I think like all the land. He owns all the land. It's just I can't even give you a number because I know it won't be accurate. Like thousands of acres of land.
Mhm.
And he's a rancher and he's like generations in and he has his children that are all fucked up beyond belief for different reasons. And like people are trying to take the ranch from him and he's got to like maneuver to keep his ranch because he just want to sell it. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Hmm.
I like it. Besides the grizzly uh presentation
The
because it is
panda bear,
wrong.
the panda bear has to eat its mother's feces to obtain microbes in its intestines to actually like derive food, like derive nutrients from its food.
You're
Oh
like
my
really
god.
upset about panda bears,
They're
aren't you?
so fucking dumb. Oh,
They're kind of
dude.
funny to watch on YouTube though when they're
Oh,
derpy
I
and
mean,
fall over themselves. It's
one
kind
of
of
the
great.
most classic YouTube videos of all time is the little panda farting and scaring its mom.
Yeah, that's great. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, the internet. What a great age to be in. Uh,
Oh my god. To get pandas to mate, they used to artificially inseminate them.
oh, I was gonna say that makes the most sense.
Yeah, but like they started showing them panda porn and then giving the males like Viagra. Literally giving them Viagra. Dude.
You know what's amazing is that like panda bears are like one of humans' best like success stories when it comes to bringing a species back. Though I think pretty much it's mostly in captivity, but I mean they're bringing the numbers back really well considering.
I would argue that the wolf.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
the wolf is probably the best, especially in Yellowstone. That was
yeah,
huge,
yeah.
which proves
They've come back from being literally fucking just gone.
which amazes me because you see this happen in Yellowstone and you take away the wolf and the deer become overpopulated, the rabbits become overpopulated, they eat all the vegetation to the point where the rivers were causing massive amount of erosion because there's no plantation to keep the the dirt and everything intact. And then other predators just slowly dwindle out because the lake's expanding. You don't have the big predator birds anymore because it's all moving and changing. And then all of a sudden you put the wolves in and literally what, like 5 years you see a substantial difference. And
Yeah,
yet we're still killing predators of the top of the food chain and not caring. Like I don't
I mean,
understand.
it sucks because when we have to, um, uh, after causing so much destruction with our habitats, um, it it becomes necessary for us to involve ourselves in that sort of ecology. So
Hmm.
it's really unfortunate, frankly, that stuff like that has to occur. But I mean, and don't get me wrong, we are not working at an optimal level.
No.
Um, but it's I don't know. It's rough.
Well, it's hard because I mean, us as little people can do great things,
Yeah.
but for the big changes that we truly need that need to happen now, we need our Mr. Amazon to stop building fucking spaceships and focus on our planet. But,
What do you mean? You need to stop using plastic straws and use metal straws.
which
Um,
I have.
even
I'm
even
currently
though
drinking out of a metal straw.
I had a chocolate shake with a metal straw and it's right over there. Um, but no, my joke was, yeah, you need to stop using plastic straws, and I mean, never mind that Nestle is stealing all the water from water shelves all over the fucking place. Never mind that all these toxic chemicals are just being dumped into the wayside, and we've got oil pipelines accidentally like bursting and dumping oil all over. No, don't worry about
Hmm.
that. You need to stop using plastic straws because it's your job. Fuck off.
And it's like it's so hard because like it does help and we've seen it, but we need like the
Sure.
legitimate big billionaires and giant corporations to actually give a shit and fund these projects because the last couple years, we've made water like balls, globes
Oh yeah,
out of
yeah.
seaweed that you bite into and that's all edible.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
the
you can drink the
seaweed
water out of it,
shit.
and you can eat the shell or
Yep.
whatever. Yep, I've seen those.
100% biodegradable.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking bamboo is better for paper
Uh,
by a million years,
hemp.
and it grows fast. Hemp,
Hemp can be
yeah,
used
hemp.
for
Don't even get me
plastic. Hemp can be
started on
used for
fucking hemp.
clothes. Hemp can be used for paper. Hemp can be
Everything.
used for fucking literally think about it and you can use it.
Anxiety, depression, eating
Mm,
disorders.
yeah. Well, that's the Mary J.
Not really. CBD, my friend.
Well, also that.
CBD.
But oh, dude.
I've
Yeah.
actually been slowly taking CBD for my scoliosis. It
Oh,
helps. I
hell
have the
yeah.
rub.
Oh yeah, my I have several family members that use the stuff to help with pretty much all of their health conditions that cause pain
Hmm.
and stuff. It's ridiculous. Um,
We have like no research on it. So I'm hoping now that it's slowly becoming legal, we can actually do true research because I really do believe marijuana can be our miracle plant
mhm.
because we can see just now like what we named off and that's barely scratching the surface and it doesn't just get you fucking high. And I'm really sick and tired of people always worried about that because I've used hemp and stuff like that and CBD for a long time. I haven't been high since like fucking high school.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like there's more uses than just being high. And if you want to be high with marijuana, then do it. Be you because it comes from the earth and I feel like we shouldn't be stopped when it's a
uh,
healthy plant that you can grow. You know what I'm saying? There's a
yeah.
difference between
I've said this.
man-made meth and a plant you can grow in the ground.
I've said this before. If you are of legal age and consenting, I don't give a fuck what you do. Go for it.
Yup.
You be
That
you,
is my
dude.
motto.
So and especially when like obviously marijuana can be dangerous if you're underage and your brain is
Hmm.
still developing. And also I've been I can speak to this. I don't use it at all. I have used it before, and I know that like don't drive when you're super fucked up.
Mm-mm.
Because like
Yeah.
dude, last time I last time I got high, I hit some wax, and I fucking sat on a couch and stared at the wall for like 2 hours, and it passed by in an instant. Just fucking was I was like, I'm like, hey, what are you guys talking about? And they're like, dude, you've been out of it for 2 hours. Where have you been? I'm like, I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
And then I did that.
Yeah, it's funny because I realized the THC. I don't know if it always did, and I didn't realize because I was with like friends and in a social setting, so I was distracted. But sitting by myself and smoking on my own, the paranoia and depression surprisingly spiked so bad for me. I hadn't touched it since, and I'd like bought a decent amount and
Yeah.
I gave it to my sister because I was like, I don't want to ever again, and I haven't touched it since then, and that was a good few years ago. I think
Yeah.
at least probably like 5 at this point.
It's funny you mention that because I had a similar situation happen in that exact situation where I was talking about where I just kind of like sat there for 2 hours. So my anxiety got really bad because I couldn't speak. I was so high that I couldn't talk. And it was irritating me. It was making me mad. And I'm like, why am I
Mm-hmm.
mad? Oh, right, because I can't talk. Why can't I talk? Oh, right, because I'm high. And like, just my brain was just fucking just it was just not good. It was awful, and that exact same thing happened to me where I got so high I was just like I can't do this. Some people take it to relax and that's fine, but I just get like depressed and scared. Like I
Yep.
can't do that.
It's funny how it works.
Yeah.
And that's where something like that is 100% grown from the earth, doesn't need to be modified. I
Yeah.
think you should be able to make your own choice on that aspect.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's yeah. I think that as long as you have, again, if you are of correct age
Mm-hmm.
and you are consenting to it, I really don't care. And also, you're not harming anyone else. I'd like to add that. If you're not
I like
harming
to
anyone
say
else.
you're not persecuting anyone for being themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's my phrase I like to use.
Oh, yeah. I mean, shoot.
Which,
We're filming this in June. We're recording this in June. It is Pride Month.
yes,
Um,
it is.
So like fucking enjoy your rainbows and shut the fuck up if you don't like how other people live. It's not any of
I
your
love,
business.
I won't fully name drop because I do love them because they're family.
uh,
But I was with family members and we walked past a very happy gay couple, super cute, holding hands. And I just smiled because I love seeing it and actually being able to see people be happy.
yeah,
And said individual was like, ugh, in public, really? And I turned around. I'm like, they're not hurting you. They're happy.
right,
Let them be. And
right.
I was like, I kind of started a little bit of drama, but I'm like, no, stop this. I know like you're an older generation and your beliefs make it hard, but just stop. You don't even need to say anything. Fine, you can think it, but do you really have to make a point to say out loud in front of everyone else?
Right.
Like, no, just shush.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So,
I had a pretty similar situation happen, um, where this person mentioned like there's sort of this Southern Baptist situation where they're kind of born
mm,
again, and they're like, they're sexual predators and this that and the other thing. I'm like, please, more people of your, there are more old white,
orientation,
there's more old straight white guys that
being more
are
predator than
predators
anyone else.
than homosexuals. Like, come
Yup,
on, dude. Like, don't get
I
me
know.
started. And that
It's very frustrating.
that put a rift between us for a long time, and I'll never forget it because I look at it like, who, why do I give a fuck who you sleep with? Why is that?
Exactly.
That's not only is that not my right, but also why should I devote my energy into being upset about you living your life and enjoying yourself and enjoying other people and just I don't know. That's this generation. I don't want to say this generation. We live in a society. Oh nope, that's even more memeable.
The boomers. It's
Boomers,
honestly,
fucking
it's
boomers. No,
the
it's not
boomers
just
and what's
boomers. It's definitely not just boomers because there's people our age that say this shit
that
and
got tainted. Yeah,
yeah,
got
um,
ruined.
yeah, pretty much. Well, that are like, that view them. No. I got off my original topic. There are people in our time that view the world as like because we have access to information, we deserve access to information. If that makes sense.
Hmm.
So to a degree, yes, absolutely. Like, look up whatever you need to look up. Like, I knew some of that stuff about those dumbass fucking panda bears, but I also can search that stuff and
You get
there's
more mad
links
about
and
panda bears.
on the plus side, these dumb fucking things are what are they considered now? They're not as bad off as they were. Let me look. I just
They're
looked
probably
at
at risk now.
they're vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
Yeah, they're one step into being from NT, whatever NT is. Not threatened, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting there, and that's fine. They can be dumb on their own side of the planet, but so, you know, and stuff like that, that's awesome. Like, learn and educate yourself and blah 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 blah. But when you go out of your way to get mad at your fucking neighbor for liking the same gender, or liking a certain set of genitalia, or not liking genitalia, what? That's you.
Why
You
does
want to
it
complain.
matter?
You want to complain about everybody being snowflakes, and you're bitching about who has balls and who doesn't. Like,
Why don't?
are you serious?
But like,
Like,
I know,
come on.
and it's like, why don't we complain
Ugh.
about the parts that actually matter? Like the fact that gas prices are up to like $3, and at this point they're
Yeah.
thinking it's going to go up another 30%. Like, why don't we talk about stuff that matters?
Yeah. Why aren't we talking
Or
about
free schooling. Why don't we have free
yeah.
schooling yet?
healthcare, like humans being taken care of and being treated as humans, because you got those assholes that are like, oh, well, they don't deserve handouts. Nobody deserves anything for free. That's not how the society works. Guess what, motherfucker?
Or like the fact I feel like
my dad. I'm sorry to cut you off, Allie, but my
No, you're
father and my father's father and my father's father's father, going back, are all stonemasons. We've all worked construction for our whole lives. We've all worked our asses off for everything that we've ever owned. Would I mind one fucking second if my taxes went up like $5 more, if my neighbor could take their kid in to the hospital because they have fucking diabetes and get their insulin for free? Fucking no. No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Not even a little bit, because I feel like fucking every human being has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
or the fact that we pay for, like, I understand to a point we kind of have to in a way.
Also, taxation is theft.
Yes, but I still find it amazing that we still pay for water and electricity.
Well, because
Because we need those to
there's
survive.
not a right. We don't need electricity, Allie. We don't need it.
I mean, we kind of do. We've kind of proved that, and
Yeah.
how, we've extended our lives and how great life is now.
Well, but
Or
you
just
didn't
water,
earn
clean drinking water.
You didn't earn free drinking water because you didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
Dude.
But that's okay, because I'm on a well, so I don't pay for water.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Dude, I mean...
Until it dries up and I gotta pay, like, what is it? Like, probably ridiculous I don't even want to know how much it costs. Let's find out how much it costs to dig a new well. Because I feel like, with my luck...
On average... $3,750 to up to $15,000 when installing.
Drilling the well is over $5,000.
Oh my god.
Oof. I swear to God, if this well dries up, which happens,
yeah,
and I will be very angry.
Yeah, I used to live off of a well, and it was the best.
Yeah.
Well,
it's great too because of my the zoo that I own. All of them need like non-chlorinated water, but I don't have that problem because I'm on a well.
Yep.
So
that's good.
I don't have to get special water.
Yeah. Like
but
I said,
I've noticed
don't get
I have
me started on fucking Nestle, dude. Oh, fuck Nestle.
We were trying to be better, everybody that's listening, if anyone is even listening. We try to be better and like, oh, we'll do like a quick half an hour episode
Oh my
to do
god,
like
it's
movie
been an hour and a
reviews.
half.
It's been a fucking hour.
Oh. We're just gonna review Army of the Dead. It's fine.
You should just cut that and make it its own episode, and then we'll have this random rant,
Are you
random
sure?
bullshit.
Are you sure?
I don't know. I think we should.
Okay, well.
Or at least the movie parts until we went on our tangent.
All
Because
right.
we stayed on movies for a while, and then we need to cut this and make it its fucking own.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally reasonable. Jesus
Ugh.
Christ. Well,
We do need to be a little bit better about structure when we have a structured episode.
Are
But
you-
otherwise,
I don't know. I think this was
You
fun.
don't-
We filled an
Okay,
hour and a
fair
half
enough.
of just whatever. It's content. Somebody will consume it, I'm sure. If not,
Yeah.
I'll go back and laugh at how fucking terrible I am at remembering things.
yeah, very true.
No,
Okay.
seriously, that last episode we did on Tim Drake was awful. I just like fucking missed so many jokes and they landed terribly and you were just silent and you didn't do anything. You just let me fucking drown
I'm
in that
sorry.
silence.
I'm sorry. I'll try to be better to recover for you.
No, it's not
This is
your
definitely
fault.
a learning experience.
You don't have to recover for me. I need to not fucking jump off a cliff when I do shit like
You know
that.
what I need?
Yeah.
I need a cricket sound button. So when you do something really stupid, I'm gonna hit the cricket button.
Oh my god, you're just gonna have a fucking the cricket sound just hotbarred.
Fuck, I'm making that. I'm making it. I need to learn how to do that shit. I want to make one.
It's really not hard because I can get you one here in a second. So, smaller side tangent. I made a Kenku.
The Kenku.
It's okay. In Dungeons and Dragons, 5th edition, I am playing a Kenku, which is a race of bird people that have been cursed and they can't speak. They can only mimic back what they've heard.
Interesting.
So
That's cool.
I've downloaded a soundboard on top of like parroting things that I hear. So I have a soundboard of just noises and stuff that I can copy back to people, and it's on my phone. So I can just like find. Oh, that's terrible. Let me see. Nope. Trying to find a cricket chirp here that sounds good. Nope. Nope. These are all terrible.
I literally think I have it as a ringtone on my phone.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I've been just doing that. Sound warning, I guess. Anybody bad with that too.
Yeah, we did not do an outro. Where is it? It's in here somewhere. It's gotta be.
Yeah. Really gonna draw this out, huh?
I need it. I don't know where it is. I'm sad.
Okay.
Fine, whatever.
Insert fucking cricket noise here.